بمفتاح لخير قد صنعنا على درب المحبة والصفاء، يخاطبكم به ناس ثقات بقول قد تساربل بالنقاء.
بسم الله، الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. In the second episode with Dr. Abdullah Abu Ishi about fasting in Ramadan, we'd like to ask you, Dr. Abdullah, again and again, but we know the time is limited. What benefits beside worship does fasting offer for the Muslim?
Okay. Again, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. As we agreed in the episode, in the first episode, that the main motivation beside fasting for a Muslim is worship. It is a form of worship. So we fast in order to comply with God's order. But it doesn't mean that there aren't other benefits. For example, fasting, I look at it as a training camp for those who fast. In order to tender the heart. It makes the heart tender when you abstain from food and drink for certain time. So you feel the hunger that certain people who are poor, go through. So it make soften the heart and make you, sympathize with those who are poor. One. Number two, it gives you a kind of strong will. It strengthens your command upon your desires and wish and so on. It is really a training camp. I look at it as a training camp. Number three, and finally, it is a golden chance, as we said before, to build upon good habits. For example, avoid backbiting, avoid whatever displeases God. I know many people who used to be heavy smoker with Ramadan, they stopped completely. So it is a golden chance to get rid of bad habits and build upon this kind of spiritual feeling that you have. And talking about fasting, I should have mentioned that fasting is confined to certain categories. For example, anyone who fasts, he or she must be a Muslim. Number two, he must be an adult. Yes, children can train themselves to fast certain hours, but it doesn't become a religious duty until they reach the age of puberty. That is to become adult. Also, fasting is prescribed or ordained for those who can bear it. Sometimes the people he is sick or he is traveling also. Islam is a very practical religion to the extent that when someone is traveling, even if he is traveling in 747, still he's traveling, so he's allowed to break the fast and to compensate in other days. Also, the lady who is pregnant, in order to protect her child, she's allowed not to fast, but to make up for it later on. So these are certain categories of people who must fast.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdullah. Maybe for Muslims and especially for the new reverts, would like to discuss with you fasting with relation to the new reverts.
Believe me, Dr. Dhafar, it is amazing that in my humble experience and with making da'wah to non-Muslim, the number of those who reverse to Islam increases during Ramadan. While if we think about expectation, it should decrease because fasting is not easy for a person who is not trained with it. But what happened is the opposite. The number of those who revert to Islam during Ramadan multiplies. So this is really amazing. This is what I have noticed.
We may ask ourselves about our brothers overseas in the North Pole. How come could they fast with the time and the special life at that side of the world?
It is very important question, and it is a realistic question, because yes, there are brothers and sisters who share with us Islam, but they happen to live in the North Pole, for example, in Sweden, Norway, Finland, and so on, where the day, it might extend for a long time. I remember I had a chance to go to Norway, and they have what is called midnight sun, in the sense that sun does not set. So what will be the situation of Muslim who live there? So our scholars, alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah, they said that, and they found a solution, that they see or they consider the nearest Muslim Islamic country, and then they fast accordingly. For example, if you happen to live in the North Pole, the nearest country is Algeria or Tunisia. So you see how many the hours those people are fasting, so they do the same, in order, because we don't fast. God did not, make it a must upon us to fast in order to torture us. No, it is just a kind of training camp for us. So the scholar, they have solved this question, and they said you will fast according to your ability and the extent of bearing fasting, and you go by the nearest country, geographically speaking, and you fast accordingly. Even if you break your fast and the sun is still showing, it does not nullify the fast.
In the conclusion of our episode, would like you, do you have anything to end this meeting about Islam, about fasting, Dr. Abdullah?
Yes, to be honest with you, Dr. Dhafir, I remember when I was in England, when we celebrate the coming of Ramadan, some non-Muslim, they said, can we join you in the fasting? Of course, they are not Muslim yet, but we give them the chance to say, yes, if you want to fast, you can fast. So they start fasting, and then they express to us the joy they feel. And finally, most of them, they end up by embracing Islam, because they go through this spiritual self-training camp represented in fasting.
How beautiful is our Islam, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. We are thanking Dr. Abdullah this short time. We are hearing a very good conclusion or concluded work about Islam, and thank you for your time. Thank you for our channel, and thank you for the audience, all of them. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
صنعنا على درب المحبة والصفاء يخاطبكم به ناس ثقات بقول قد تساربل بالنقاء بقول قد تساربل بالنقاء. هنا الرواد تسمو